from the community because you don't have a revelation of what real community is. And that is the spirit in this hour. The Bible said in the last days we were going to deal with some people called truce breakers. Truce breakers. Those who cannot keep covenant. And the reason you cannot keep covenant is because you love yourself. You cannot be in covenant and in love with yourself. You cannot be in covenant and only want to do what you want to do, because covenant demands that you die of everything you need to make sure that the person you're in covenant with is supplied with what they need. That's why when you read Job 41 and deals with the spirit of Leviathan, it says that the spirit of Leviathan can't be in covenant. Selfish people cannot be in covenant. People who love themselves, centered around themselves. Prophet Carn, you're going to preach tonight. I said those people who love themselves. I'm going to tell you something. Something is wrong. A lot of our preachers, a lot of us pastors, we need to be careful. We need to make sure that we are not raising a generation of truce breakers. We need to make sure that we teach our people that God is bigger than us. Oh no, hallelujah. Glory to God. How many people know God bigger than your church? How many know your pastor ain't got it all? I know you're scared to hear that. I know you think your pastor is just the most amazing person in the body. But if you think that your pastor is the only one that got everything you need, you're deceiving yourself. He gave some apostles. He gave some, y'all quiet in here, prophets, some evangelists, pastors and teachers. We are one body, fitly joined together. Look at somebody and say, I need you, I need you, I need you. Come on, don't look at that person that's stuck up, that won't talk to you, because somebody need to help them. See, the reason they stuck in their ways and won't praise God while I'm preaching is because they stuck in their community and think that their community is the only community. But God is bigger than your church.
You better preach in here.
Sit down, church. Some of us are truce breakers.
Yeah.
We're not covered. We can't keep coming. You're always starting over a relationship. Always. You be friends with somebody for 6 months. Something always happens. Y'all stop being friends. You need to examine yourself. You can't keep friends with nobody. Everybody's jealous of your anointing. Everybody can't handle your anointing. I'm just in another place. There's a glory upon my life that makes everybody jealous of me. You're crazy. Amen. You need to sit on somebody's couch. Say amen. Amen. You don't need deliverance. You need counseling. Come on, church. Say hallelujah. Do you know that it is a curse? And it is what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to live under a curse. It is a curse to be a spiritual, emotional vagabond. You have no rest. You are committed to no church. In 2 years, you done had 8 pastors.
Help us.
Because you're in the wilderness. You're a wilderness prophet. God got me in the wilderness by myself. Can't nobody handle what's on me. God called me to be they can't handle my anointing. Something that's on me is super. You're crazy. Something's wrong with you. God is not going to die for a body and then separate you from the body he died for. This church, us preachers, this generation, prophets, apostles, preachers, whoever we are, who got more armor bearers than we got members, because we are extremely insecure and we need people around us to validate our insecurities. You are a bunch of narcissists. That's what's wrong with us. And narcissism came from your parents over-affirming you. You are over-affirmed. You know, you can be over-affirmed. Your mama made you think you was the most pretty thing on the sky. Y'all ain't saying that. Made you think, well, nobody looking better than you, so now don't nobody want you. Come on, you're going to be by yourself. Rest of your life, no matter what you. Quiet. It's okay. I'm going to get you delivered. We are narcissistic. We are in love with ourselves. We are crazy about ourselves. We only listen to ourselves. When another preacher's up, we can't even push another preacher. We can't even worship when we're not the center of attention because we are narcissists. But God is getting ready to bring judgment. It's coming to the house. It's coming to the house. Come on, clap your hands and give God praise for what God's again. Come on, come on, come on, come on, clap your hands and give him praise for the yokes that are about to be destroyed. The balance that's about to be lifted. Look at somebody and say, I don't want to be a vagabond. The enemy wants to keep you in that place where your heart, your soul, and your commitment is always scared.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to commit. I'm afraid to commit. The enemy wants to keep you a place where you're always looking for a home, always looking for somewhere to go. He knows that as long as you're looking and looking for a home, you will always be in a place that you can never take root, because it's not till you take root that you can bear fruit.
That's good.
So he wants to keep you running, 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 running. And I need you to hear this by the Spirit of God, because this Spirit is a real powerful Spirit. And the way this Spirit operates is it makes you justify being the way you are. That's just the way I am. I just can't fit in with everybody.
Well,
God made me like this. That's demonic. And it's dysfunctional. And I'm telling you that what you need to do is you need to start evaluating your life, and you need to evaluate the quality of your associations. All right, you need to take a glimpse of everybody who you call your friend, everybody who you associate with, and you need to ask yourself, what am I gaining from this relationship? I told them coming in the year 2019, the Lord spoke to me very clearly that this is the year of intentionality. This is not the year to be just hanging with folk just to say you know them. You know, that's my boy. For what?
Right, right, right.
There needs to be a reason why you're in relationship with them.
Come on.
And if you cannot find out the purpose of your relationship, why y'all connected? Come on, y'all. I know. So you need to evaluate your life. You need to evaluate your space. You need to ask yourself, is the person I'm the closest to always got their hand out?
Yeah.
Am I in covenant with people? Do I like being in covenant with people who I always have to give stuff because I have a need to be needed? In a relationship, you always giving, you never receive. You can't stay and be around people that got more than you because they don't need you. Brother Carn, you're preaching. You don't need no amens. You need to evaluate your relationships. You need to evaluate, watch this, who you decide to be loyal to. I am extremely loyal. I am loyal to the detriment. And sometimes loyal people are very stoic. Sometimes loyal people are stoic and you're stuck. Watch this. And sometimes the only way God can get you to move is through persecution. He has to upset the relationship because he knows that you are so loyal and you feel obliged. That the only way he's going to cause the disconnect is he must cause there to be a rift in the relationship. Hear the word of the Lord. All right. So this is what God does, because sometimes we are loyal to a dead thing.
Yeah.
How long will you mourn over Saul, sin that I have rejected? Sometimes we are mourning and we are in love with a dead thing, something that's over. The season is over, but you're in love with it, and you got to be careful that you don't operate in necrophilia. You're afraid of letting go of the dead. Look at somebody next to you and say, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. I don't know who I'm talking to, but that relationship died a long time ago. That friendship died a long time ago, and you trying to make something live that God commanded to die. You cannot be loyal to a dead thing. How long will you mourn over Saul? They loved Saul. God had to tell Samuel, get up from here. Go to Jesse's house. I done already raised up somebody to replace him. You're sitting up crying over your last season. You don't recognize that your last season is exactly what it is, and God is trying to get you to move on. And the only way he's going to get you to move on is he got to make you uncomfortable where you are. Am I making sense? So I'm a relational person. I'm a covenant person, and you need to make sure that you're loyal to the right people. And I want to tell you that some of you think you're loyal and you're not loyal, because some of us are loyal in your own eyes. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to keep going, that if you're going to be in leadership, if we're going to be a prophetic community, if we're going to be a people who come together, we must understand that it is impossible to be in leadership and not understand that leadership demands community. The reason it demands community is so you are never outnumbered.
Well, come on.
You never want to go against your enemy, and your enemy has more than you. So you need an army. Look at 3 people around you, say, we need an army, we need an army. We need an army. And so I took the text of Matthew chapter 12, verse 45, because then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself. And I'm telling you that we can learn something from these unclean spirits. When Jesus was teaching about unclean spirits, he said that demons are smart enough to get 7 spirits that are stronger than themselves. You missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Some of you are intimidated to have people around you who are stronger than you. But the strength of a leader is when he knows how to bring people around him that's greater than himself. And in order to do that, look at somebody and say, you got to get rid of your ego. You got to get rid of your ego. Most of us are intimidated and would not get stronger sources. We would not get stronger resources. But the devil said, I'm going to get 7 more demons more powerful than myself, because the devil understands the power of network.
Yeah. You're talking.
Am I making sense? Yeah. Please sit down. I'm coming, y'all. The devil understands the power of a network. He doesn't want you to get a network.
No.
And I just want to, since I'm just making this point, I want to say to you, the enemy is doing everything he can, watch this, to make sure you never find your 7. His job is to make sure you stay by yourself and never find 7 people stronger than yourself. Look at somebody and say, I need my 7. Come on, say 7. Come on, come on, come on. Community is important, church. I'm almost done. Community is important. Community can be diverse. It doesn't mean in order for us to be in a community, it don't mean we all have to be alike. You got to be disciplined enough to align yourself as an act of your will. It takes humility to humble myself, even though I'm a greater gift. I may be greater gifted, but I'm not greater graced.
Yes, sir. That's good.
We all may be equally talented, but everybody's not equally graced. Ephesians 4:7 said, God has given unto every man grace according to the measure of the gift of Christ. There are different graces. Billy Graham, when his ministry went forward, when it started, a bunch of white men came together, sat at a table. One had money, one had this, one had that. They say, but Billy, you got the oil for the nations. They didn't come in there telling them, I got a preaching ministry too. God called me to do something too. They recognize the grace that was on somebody's life. And I want to say this, and I'm going to get in trouble with what I'm about to say. But you cannot tell me that God has called you to pastor. You've been pastoring for 20 years and all you got is 2 people. people. You miss God. You need to go align yourself with somebody who has a grace. Because you and your two people are splitting kingdom resources.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all two people need to go and help that church next door. They need that money. I don't say this now. You know, because the only people who love that scripture in Matthew are people who only have 2-3 members. Well, 2 or 3 guys in my life. They don't worry about the number. They love that scripture. When they number 2 or 3, it don't matter about the crowd. But 2 or 3 are gathered in my name. That means they number 2 people in that church. Get that by the Spirit. Get that by the Spirit. You need to recognize, watch this, when your season to pastor is over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Amen. Just because God called you into the pastor don't mean you're supposed to die a pastor.
Say that.
Say that.
You can still minister and stop pastoring. But some of you are afraid to let it go because the letting go of pastoring is a death.
It sure is, sir. It absolutely is.
That's a ministry. That's something dying. You got to grieve. Am I making sense?
That's right. Yes, sir.
So I want you to hear me by the Spirit of grace that we must learn how to postpone, how to hide. Some people say, well, I can't be in a community because if I'm in a community, I got to postpone, I got to hide, I got to conceal my uniqueness. No, the power of a community is that I'm unique, yet I can bring my uniqueness into a uniformity.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all different, but we come together and recognize what each of us brings to the table. Can I keep going? Because I want to let you know, it is not unity and community when you have to fake who you are. If I have to give up who I am to come in your community, it's not a community.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I making sense? And too many of us think that in order to come into a community, you can no longer be yourself. You can still be yourself and be in a community because a diverse community is important. And if you are in the right community will grant you perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, let me help you. The law of exposure. It's the law of exposure. You know, when I was a young guy, younger guy, and I was preaching, I was good. And I'm praising God. The first place I went to preach, I caught the Greyhound bus. And I said, hey, I'm riding the bus to go. Then somebody rolled me. And then I went and preached somewhere. And they flew me on a plane.
Come on.
And I said, Delta Airlines is it. And I thought coach flying was good. Until somebody introduced me to first class. Trying to take you somewhere now. And I was good in first class. First class is good. Amen. Amen. When you go overseas, don't go overseas, coach. Coach is for cattle. No. When you go overseas, you fly first class. You can't be on a flight for 8 hours and be in coach. Oh, Lord, that's the devil. You got to be in first class. And I was comfortable with first class. It was good until I got around people who had their own plane.
Right.
So the law of exposure changed, and it put my faith out there to go get one. Because of the law of exposure. I lived in an apartment, went to a house. I thought the house was good. Houses are nice. And then I went in one preacher's house, whose bedroom was 8,000 square feet. What a mighty God we serve. Now, you folk that say don't take all that, that's why you broke. See, you think small because that's the circle you in. I had an opportunity years ago to go minister to these bunch of aristocratic people in the city called Eastern Connecticut, and the Hearst family. I don't know if you all remember the Hearst family, Patty Hearst and all those people. The mama was actually a member of the church in Charlotte. She just recently moved back to New York, but the Hearst family was actually a member of my church for about a year and a half. Actually stayed with me. Had an opportunity to minister to these people, and I've never seen money like that. For real. Her house was 38,000 square feet. So one day, I was in the house with her. It's in a city called, it was in New York. She has 50 acres in New York. Now, if you got 50 acres in New York, that's money. Amen, y'all, that's money there. The blood of Jesus, that's money. And her coat got stuck on a chair, right? And she said, oh, call the maids. I said, Veronica, if you don't take your coat off of that chair. But listen, what was normal for me was not normal for her because she had been in a different environment. It matters what environment you're in, and some of you need to be in community so that your perspective can change. Because once you get in an environment of people, watch this. I was raised in the Holy Church, Sanctified Church. If you didn't book, you ain't have nothing else. You gotta go right. I'm done. Who we are? Hey. If you didn't quicken, your hand didn't shake. What that is, and what is y'all doing? I got around Pastor Benny, and Pastor Benny there. Hallelujah. Lift your hand, precious people, the presence of the Lord. He be saying, and I go, oh, he'll say, Brian, what are you doing? I said, Pastor Benny, that's the Holy Ghost. I can't help it. The Holy Ghost. But what I'm saying is, you need to understand this, that your response to the power of God is formed by your environment. Yes. Good. So a lot of times we sit up and say, why you don't do that? It all depends on the environment you come from. I always say this all the time. When you get around the white folk, when the spirit come on them, they won't laugh. I'm talking, you be deep in the spirit, they be And when I first saw that, I said, these people playing with God. They need to stop. These people in here playing with God. And these people in here playing with God. The Bible say no jesting and jiving and foolish talking. What they doing? Amen. When you get around Brother Hagen, get around that Word of Faith camp, spirit get in there, they laugh. I mean, you look at it on YouTube, they be going at it. We see somebody doing that, I said, we say, that man has an evil spirit in there. Community. You get around Bethel music,
Yeah.
you walk in their service, you see people on the floor. Tell us something, they soaking in the presence of God. They know they sleep. Y'all understand that? They know they sleep. Tell us something, they soaking. They sleep, brother. But it all depends on, somebody shout, community. Community determines your perspective. And if you are in a community where all of y'all think the same, do the same. I keep telling you that if you got one arm, your mama got one arm, your daddy got one arm, all your brothers and sisters got one arm. When you go outside and see people with two arms, you're going to think they the ones abnormal. Because your dysfunction has become your normal.
Yeah.
And you don't recognize how dysfunctional your dysfunction is until you get out of your environment. Look at 3 people around you, say community matters, community matters. So you sit in here, can I have 5 more minutes? I'm done. 5 more minutes, I promise I'm done. So I want you to understand that a lot of you complain about where you are, but don't have the discipline to pursue. You cannot complain about what you don't pursue. You will leave a church, you will leave a ministry, you will leave a job because you thought something was due you. Right. They owed you something. You have a spirit of entitlement, and the truth of the matter is you never received it because you never pursued it. You cannot have what you don't pursue. Am I making sense? Yeah. You cannot complain about a level that you haven't pursued. If you sit up and say, I don't like my community, I don't like my friendship. If you don't like the level of your friendship, have you pursued another level? Or has your hurt hindered you from pursuit? Am I making sense? You pursue a house, you pursue a car, you pursue clothes, but you won't pursue gifts of the Spirit. You won't pursue anointings, you won't pursue ministry, and you won't pursue it because you think you're owed it.
Come on. Come on.
Because of the spirit of entitlement, and you cannot operate in entitlement and be in community. You gotta, the minute you come out of the reality of your need of people, the minute you come out of that reality and begin to think, I don't need nobody, I don't need no parameters, I don't need no commitment. The minute you get to that place, you are in a dangerous place, because anyone who becomes an island will become self-reliant, they will become self-secure, they will be self-taught. And they become a danger to themselves because they are by themselves. And it is not, watch this, until you get around other people that you locate your weaknesses.
Woo!
As long as you're the only one around, you're the strength. See your members? Think you're the most anointed person in the world. Because they only see you.
Right.
Some of y'all scared to let folks go to other churches. You scared. They gonna see another anointing. You put something in them that'll make them stay home.
That's right. That's right.
Amen. Y'all go. Hey, I tell my folks, go on see them. You'll be back. Amen. When watch this, when you know the quality of your production, you don't mind nobody else going to do whatever. My grandma can cook. Can't she? Yes. She can cook. She don't get mad if I go eat somewhere else. Because guess where I'm coming back to? I'm coming back to Granny. Ain't nobody cooking fried shrimp like Granny. Praise God. You understand? There's nothing wrong with you hearing other gifts. And a mature pastor, a secure pastor, exposes his people to other gifts. Come on. They expose them. When I bring you in, you strengthen me.
That's right. That's right.
And by the way, you evangelists out there, if you're an evangelist and God called you to go preach to somebody at church, your assignment is not to go in there and preach doctrine. Your assignment is to go in there and preach the preacher. What you mean? Lift up the preacher in that house. Because the key to that house is not the people. The key to the house is the pastor. And I don't care how much the people like you. If the pastor don't like you, you ain't coming back. Ooh, them people love me. Don't care about that. So you build that preacher. Whenever you go into somebody's house, build a preacher. Bring the folk back to the preacher. Because the minute the preacher feels like you have more influence than him, he's not going to have you back. Ain't that true? Ain't that the truth? We can't complain. We do all this complaining, but we don't pursue relationships. And the reason we don't pursue relationships is because we have a spirit on us that says, what if they don't receive me. It is the spirit of pride. It is the spirit of entitlement. It is the spirit of being ruthless that will make you go after relationships, watch this, with the wrong motives.
Well, come on now.
But he that hath friends must show himself what? Friends. I also want you to understand that another reason you need community, the minute you are anointed, the hand of God is on your life, you've been called to do something great, it's not until you have community that attacks are able to be blocked.
Yes. Yes.
Give me Job chapter 1. Go there real quickly. Job chapter 1. If you're gonna be successful, you're gonna get attacked.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Somebody say the anointing attracts attacks.
My God.
Look at Job chapter 1. Give me around verse 8. I'm gonna be eisegetical, but I'm just making a point. And the Lord said, "Hast thou considered my servant Job?" Oh, I wish I could talk about that. Don't you know it's a blessing to be recommended by God? What a resume. Ain't nothing like him in earth, a perfect and upright man, fear God, verse 9, and eschew evil. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, "The Job fear you for naught," verse 10. Come on. "Hast thou not made a hedge about him?" I just want to consider. Wow. I want to consider for the point of what I'm saying, that your community can be your hedge. It can be your protection. That when the enemy comes after you, he know he can't get you because you're in a community of people who got you. Come on, am I making sense? Yes, sir. Do you know that the enemy will think twice when he gets ready to attack you because he knows there's a hedge or a protection or a covering that's around you? Watch this. That's hinder you from being attacked. All that matters. The first thing that the devil does when he come after people, he checks who they connected to. Community matters. If you're not around the right people, people who got your back, people who gonna cover you, you got to be around people, watch this, that'll cover you until you recover. You got to be around people that you might be in a bad place, watch this, and when you're wounded, they don't expose your weakness. Pastor Benny taught me that, riding in the car with the first conversation had in the car with Pastor Benny, riding the Rodero Drive, leaving his house. He said, "Brian Carn." I said, "What?" He said, "You're around this preacher, you're around that preacher, you're around that preacher, you'll be around this preacher, you're around me." He said, "It's obvious that God trusts you with the weakness of great men." God doesn't expose you to greatness until you can handle weakness.
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense? So you want to consider who you have around you. Because the Bible declares that whoso breaketh the hedge, the serpent will bite. Snakes always lurk around broken hedges.
Yes, sir.
There's a broken hedge somewhere. I can guarantee you a snake is going to come in. That's why when two relationships that were close breaks up, I can guarantee you that if two close relationships break up, there was a snake somewhere.
That's all I'm saying.
There's a snake somewhere.
That's all I'm saying.
Me and you close, we bosom buddies, and all of a sudden something happens and break it up. A snake came in somewhere.
Yes, sir.
And hedges protect you from snakes. So what does that mean? You need to work at your relationship. Look at somebody and say, work at relationships. Wait a minute. You should never be a pastor without a pastor. Y'all quiet. You should never be a pastor that's trying to pull people into a future and you don't have a hedge. If you have an assignment to push people's life, to take people's life to the devil is after you. You can never do ministry and think you're going to do ministry and the devil is not going to come after you, and you don't need to be doing ministry by yourself. You need a team. You need somebody around you, watch this, that'll catch your blind spots. You can't see everything. Come on, church. You need somebody around you that can see what you can't see.
Yeah.
that got your back, that's going to cover you. Am I making sense? So all I'm saying to you is God is calling us, the body, you, out of isolation. God's calling you prophets out of the cave.
Yes.
Satan, watch this, I'm done. Satan was not evicted as soon as the wickedness was in his heart. Because the Bible said iniquity was found. It was always there, it was in his heart. Satan was evicted, watch this, when God saw he had a team.
Yeah. Yeah.
A third of the angels went with him. That's the power. Even the devil knew to lead with a team. When folk leave your church, they don't go by themselves.
No, they don't.
They don't go by themselves. They always try to recruit a team. Because the enemy knows the power of a team.
Yes, sir.
The devil said, I ain't going by myself. I'm taking a third of the angels with me. Because I need a team. You can't do this without a team. God has given this man of God a vision. This vision is to bring us together. And you know what's sad? The hardest people, every culture has community, except for us black folk.
Talking good. Talking real good. Yes, sir. Talking real good.
Every culture.
Every culture.
My God, Chuck Pierce down there in Texas, they got their prophets, they got their apostles. Come on, church.
Come on. Come on.
Word of faith, got their community. Amen. And they were they're black and white. But I'm telling you that it's us black folk.
Yeah.
Pentecostals. Is you black folk because you anointed. My anointing is too great to be in a cage. I gotta be free. We don't know how to come under somebody else's mission.
Come on.
We don't understand how to see what's on somebody else's life. Recognize, do you know that a community is the strongest? Watch this. When those in it don't need each other.
That's right. Come on. Come on.
Hallelujah.
It's easy to link up with somebody that you need. But it's harder to link up with those that you don't need. Don't need you, but I'm in covenant with you. Your God shall be my God. Your people shall be my people.
Yeah.
God's calling us out of the cave. You play strings. I'm done. God calling us out of the cave. Some of you in here tonight, you need to hear me. There's a spirit on you. You can't commit to nothing. Nobody's anointed enough for you. Every church you go to, they can't handle your anointing. You're gifted, you're powerful. Everywhere you go, you know what? You see her, she's jealous of my anointing. They didn't even know you was in the room.
How about that?
But the enemy knows the power of connection. Don't you know something is God when the enemy do everything he can to break it up?
Yeah. That's it.
Don't you know that if you got a relationship that the devil always fight, I guarantee you that's a God relationship. Some of you never run into the devil. You know why? Because y'all on the same side. Us. I want you to hear this. And I don't try to make this a black and a white thing, but you have to see that the enemy knows the power. Every culture can come together.
Yes.
Except for us.
Yes.
That Jewish dollar circulates 7 times
That's right. That's right.
before it ever leaves this community.
That's right.
My God.
They got their own lawyers.
Talk, sir.
They got their own cleaners. They got their own bakeries. But guess what? We go way on the other side of town and won't do business with each other.
My God.
Prophet Carn, preach on it. You get no amens. You black folk will go submit to the white man.
Talk about it. Wow.
Give him all your money.
Wow.
Amen. Prophet Carn, you preach, get no amen. Talk about it.
Talk about it, sir.
Run to his church. Give him all your money.
Talk about
That's
it.
the truth.
Talk about it.
Give him all your money. Amen. Your mama gets sick. He ain't coming to see you. He gonna
Talk
send
about
somebody.
it.
Amen. I'm preaching my show name.
Amen.
But won't submit to somebody from your own culture. You'll submit to them, but very rarely will you see them submit to us.
All right.
My name is Brian Carn, and I approve this message. Say amen. It's true. There was a man who there ain't too many people who I've seen that grace upon the mix. The one person who I've seen had it was Carl Pearson. He got blacks and whites together.
Yes, he did.
But he forgot he was in Tulsa and tried to run for mayor. And they reminded him he was a black man.
That's right. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's what happened. Yes, sir.
They don't mind you in control as long as they can control you. So you go in the system.
Come on, sir.
You learn their system. But don't become their system. God has called us as prophets to come together. We gotta stop fighting each other, church.
Yeah, I should stop doing that.
The Bible says we bite each other, we devour one another. Hezekiah wrote a song when he said, I need you. You need me. We all are part of God's body. Lift those hands high all over this room. Every eye closed. I want to release the service. Lift those hands high. Every eye closed, every hand lifted for just a moment. Some of you right now are suffering from church hurt. You're afraid to be in commitment and covenant, to join with anybody. You've been let down so many times. You've been disappointed so many times. You have a fear of commitment. You don't want to do ministry with nobody. You don't want to be connected to nobody because every time I try, I get let down. People say one thing and do something else. But lift your hands. I release you to love again. Yes. Lift those hands all over this room and begin to pray in the Holy Ghost. Come on, lift your voice, open your mouth, and release the language of your spirit out of you. God is calling us to community. Come on, I don't hear you. Pray in the Holy Ghost. He's calling you out of that cave. 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 He's calling you from that low place. Calling you out of Lodebar. He's placing you around a people that you can trust. He's placing you around people that will not abuse you, that will not take advantage of you. He's putting you in a community where you have a voice, where you're able to speak with liberty, because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Lift those hands and pray in the Holy Ghost. Lamb of God. Come on. Pray in the Spirit. Pray in the Holy Ghost. Lamb of God, bring us together again. Come against the strongholds that are keeping us from coming together. Every wedge, every path that's hindering us from being the people that you called us to be. You're calling us out of the cave. You're calling us out of the low place. You're calling us out of the lonely place. And you're calling us into community. I need you. You need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. Pray in the Holy Ghost. God is bringing right relationships. I cut every Judas out of your life. I cut every Absalom out of your life. I cut every Jezebel out of your life. Come on. I decree right relationships. I decree God relationships. God connections. God relationships. God connections. Intimate relationship. You will not be in covenant with nobody just because everybody who don't mean you no good. God's cutting them out your life. God's removing them out of your life. He's removing them out of your space. And he's giving you right relationship. Pray in the Holy Ghost as God releases in you. Right relationship. Stand on your feet all over this room. I want you to grab somebody's hand on your room. Get in partners of two. And for the next 60 seconds, get in partners of two. That means hold both hands of one person. Hold both hands of one person. Join hands with them. And I want you right now to begin to pray for them. Pray in the Holy Ghost. Encourage them. Come on, get out of your comfort zone and encourage them. Pray for them right now. Monday. Come on. Come on, pray for them. Encourage them. Yando. I need you to survive. Hey! Hey! Oh, Shama Baba Baba, yeah. Lekandala Baba Sitaya. Ikolobosha. Mande. Yende Baba Sita. Rakalamanda Babosa. Heal her from the broken places. Heal her from the wounded places. Let her love again. Let her trust again. Heal her where her heart has been broken. They're tired. Heal her Manda Babosa. Heal her Mama. Come on, Zion. Yeah. Now you need to let that hand go. Go hug 5 people tonight and tell them I need you. Tell them I need you. I need you. Come on. Hey.
I need you. Yes.
Come on. Tell them I need you. I need you. Yeah, yeah. Yes, I do. Well, the Lord shut up. Yeah. Come on, tell them. Yeah, no, 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 yeah. Yeah, no, 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 sit down. Because of the Lord. Hey, 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 hey. I'm just going to minister to one person. I'm going to give you the mic. Lift those hands, stand on your feet, everybody that can. Young lady, I saw the minister. I want to tell you something. Come here, come here. Is that your baby? Okay, bring it to me. How am I nigga who shot?
Yes, it is so.
I don't minister. I'm just going to minister to you and I'm done. Lift your hand. Let just cry. We crying over this church. Lift your hand. It's all right. We cry. Amen. You know, Baptists will hide their tears and scream. We're trying to keep our eyelashes together. They might fall off. Don't worry about it. Take them on off. Amen. Lift your hand. Lift your hand. May God heal you from the scar of your father. From you. Yes. May God heal you from that scar. May God heal you from the scar of your father. Lift those hands and pray the Holy Ghost. I feel Jesus. Come on, promise Lord, I'm taking the medicine. I'm going to pray for them. Get him on. Come on, this is your moment. Pray for them. Pray for them.